Discover the haunting origins of La Llorona, the Weeping Woman, as we delve into the chilling folklore that has captivated generations and continues to send shivers down our spines. The night is heavy, silent, then a sound, a wail carried on the wind. It chills you to your core. This is the sound of La Llorona, the Weeping Woman. Her cries echo through generations, a chilling reminder of a mother's unspeakable act. What would drive a woman to such despair? What tragedy could birth such a terrifying legend? Tonight, we delve into the darkness. We explore the depths of La Llorona's tragic tale. Prepare yourself. This is not just a story, it's a warning, a glimpse into the heart of sorrow and the terrifying power of a mother's rage. Her name whispers on the wind, carried on the breeze through centuries of fear. La Llorona. But who was she before the legend? Before the wailing? They say she was once a woman of beauty, a mother with a love that burned bright, but love can twist into something monstrous. Jealousy, betrayal, they can poison even the purest heart. Her story is a tapestry woven from whispers and shadowed memories. Some say she was betrayed by the one she loved most. Others, that she was driven mad by grief. But all the stories agree on one thing: the children. Her precious children taken by the murky depths of the river, taken by her own hand. Now she wanders, searching. Her cries pierce the night, a lament that chills the soul. She searches for them in life, in death, forever bound to the waters that claimed her children. Are you brave enough to hear her tale? To look into the shadows of this legend and see the woman behind the weeping? This is the story of La Llorona. La Llorona's story is deeply rooted in the history of Mexico. Her legend first emerged during the time of Spanish colonialism, a period marked by social upheaval and cultural clashes. Imagine a world where old beliefs met new, often brutal realities, where whispers of ancient spirits mingled with the prayers of the newly arrived church. This was a time of profound change and uncertainty, a breeding ground for stories that reflected the anxieties of the era. Tales of loss, betrayal, and the supernatural served as both warnings and explanations for the harsh realities people faced. La Llorona's story, with its themes of a mother driven to madness by grief and betrayal, resonated deeply with a society grappling with its own traumas. The Spanish conquest had brought about immense suffering for the indigenous population, including the loss of loved ones, their land, and their way of life. La Llorona, in a way, became a symbol of this collective pain. Her cries echoed the grief of a people struggling to make sense of their shattered world. She was a haunting reminder of the human cost of conquest and the enduring power of sorrow. But La Llorona's story wasn't just about the past. It also reflected the social dynamics of colonial Mexico, particularly the struggles faced by women. In a patriarchal society, women were often seen as subservient to men, their lives defined by marriage and motherhood. La Llorona's tale, with its themes of a woman driven to extremes by a man's betrayal, served as a cautionary reminder of the dangers women faced in a society that often silenced their voices and limited their choices. Over time, La Llorona's story spread beyond Mexico, carried on the tongues of travelers and whispered around campfires. It took root in other Latin American countries, adapting to local cultures and beliefs. Each region added its own unique flavor to the legend, reflecting their own history and anxieties. But the core elements, the weeping woman, the lost children, the haunting cries, remained constant. La Llorona, it seemed, spoke a universal language of sorrow and fear. La Llorona isn't just a scary story told to frighten children. She's woven into the fabric of Latin American culture. Her image appears in art, music, and literature. Her name is whispered with a mix of fear and reverence. She's become a cultural icon, a symbol of deep-seated anxieties and beliefs that have resonated across generations. She's a reminder of the tragedies that can befall us, the consequences of our actions, and the enduring power of grief. One of the most compelling aspects of La Llorona is her connection to motherhood. She embodies both the joys and sorrows of being a mother, the fierce love and the unbearable pain of loss. Her story forces us to confront the complexities of motherhood, the expectations placed upon women, the sacrifices they make, and the devastating consequences when those sacrifices are made in vain. La Llorona serves as a cautionary tale, particularly for children. Her cries in the night are a warning to stay close to home, to obey your parents, and to avoid the dangers that lurk in the shadows. But she also serves as a warning to adults, a reminder of the importance of family, of fidelity, and of the dangers of succumbing to despair. Her story teaches us that our actions have consequences, and that even the deepest love can be twisted into something destructive. At the heart of La Llorona's story is guilt, the overwhelming, suffocating guilt of a mother who has committed the unthinkable. It's this guilt that binds her to the earthly realm, that fuels her endless search for redemption. Her constant wailing, her cries for her children are not just an expression of sorrow, they're a plea for forgiveness, a desperate attempt to atone for her sins. But some sins, it seems, can never be forgiven. La Llorona's story is like a whisper passed from one person to another. It changes with each telling. Each region, each village adds its own details, its own fears, to the legend. In some versions, she's a tragic figure, a woman driven mad by grief. In others, she's a vengeful spirit, hungry for revenge against those who wronged her. But no matter the version, one thing remains constant. La Llorona is a figure of immense sorrow. Her cries echo with a pain that transcends language, a pain that speaks to something deep within the human psyche. One of the most common variations of the legend is that of the Scorned Woman, a tale that has been passed down through generations, whispered around campfires and shared in hushed tones. Betrayed by her lover, she takes revenge in the most horrific way imaginable by taking the lives of her own children, an act that forever binds her to the river where the tragedy occurred. This version taps into primal fears of infidelity, abandonment, and the destructive power of jealousy, emotions that can drive even the most loving heart to commit unthinkable acts. It's a stark reminder that love, even the most passionate, can curdle into something dark and dangerous, transforming a nurturing mother into a vengeful spirit. In these tellings, La Llorona's cries are not just those of a grieving mother, but also of a vengeful spirit, forever searching for her lost children and seeking retribution against those who wronged her. Her white dress, a symbol of purity and innocence, becomes a chilling reminder of the lives she took and the justice she seeks, a haunting figure that lingers in the shadows, a warning to all who hear her mournful wails. In some regions, La Llorona is seen not just as a figure of fear, but also as a protector, specifically, a protector of children. She's said to warn children away from dangerous waters, her cries serving as a chilling reminder of the price of disobedience. This duality is part of what makes La Llorona such a compelling figure. She embodies both the nurturing and the destructive aspects of femininity. She is both feared and revered, a reminder that the line between protector and punisher can be thin indeed. Across all the variations, certain themes and symbols remain constant. These elements transcend time and geography, binding the many retellings into a cohesive narrative that resonates deeply with those who hear it. Water, often a symbol of life and purity, becomes a source of dread and death in La Llorona's story. The rivers and lakes, which should be places of tranquility, transform into haunting reminders of her tragic fate, where she searches endlessly for her lost children. The moon, associated with femininity and mystery, casts an eerie glow on her nightly wanderings. Its pale light illuminates the darkness, creating an otherworldly atmosphere that heightens the sense of fear and anticipation. Her white dress, a symbol of mourning and loss, becomes an instantly recognizable icon of her presence. This garment, once perhaps a wedding dress, now serves as a ghostly shroud, marking her as a figure of sorrow and eternal searching. And then there are the cries. These are not just any cries, but the anguished wails of a mother who has lost everything. They echo through the night, sending shivers down the spines of those who hear them. Those heart-wrenching sobs that pierce the night, a chilling reminder of the depths of her despair. They are a call to her lost children, a lament that transcends the boundaries of the living and the dead. These common threads, woven through countless versions of her tale, are what make La Llorona such a potent and enduring figure in Latin American folklore. Her story, filled with universal themes of love, loss, and longing, continues to captivate and terrify, ensuring that she remains a haunting presence in the collective memory. Her name was Maria. They say she was the most beautiful woman in the village. Her laughter, like the sound of bells, could brighten even the dullest day. Men were captivated by her beauty, but her heart, it belonged to another. A young man, handsome and full of charm. Their love story was the stuff of legends. Passionate glances across the marketplace, stolen kisses under the moonlight. They married young. Their happiness seemed complete when two beautiful children, a boy and a girl, blessed their lives. Maria was the picture of a devoted mother. Her world revolved around her children, but shadows began to creep into their idyllic life. Whispers followed her husband, whispers of a wandering eye, of a heart straying from its vows. Maria, blinded by love, refused to believe it. She clung to the memory of their early love. The whispers grew louder. The evidence, undeniable. Maria's world shattered. The man she loved, the father of her children, had betrayed her. He left, seeking solace in the arms of another. Maria was utterly broken. Gone was the laughter, the light in her eyes. All that remained was a hollow shell, consumed by grief, rage, and a desperate longing for what she had lost. Driven by despair, her mind clouded by grief, Maria wandered towards the river. The rushing water, a constant presence in their lives, now held a dark allure. It whispered promises of peace, of an end to her pain. Clutching her children close, she stepped into the cold, unforgiving current. The river, a silent witness to countless joys and sorrows, accepted her sacrifice. But it was a sacrifice that would come at a terrible price. They say if you listen closely, on moonless nights, you might hear her. A mournful wail, carried on the wind. It starts soft, a low sob that sends shivers down your spine. Then, it builds, growing in intensity, a chorus of despair that seems to consume the very air you breathe. Those who live near the rivers, they know the sound. They hush their children and bolt their doors, for they know what it means. La Llorona is near, and she's searching. Every town, every village has its stories. Tales whispered from one generation to the next, meant to frighten and warn. Stories of La Llorona searching for children to replace the ones she lost. Don't stay out too late, parents warn. Don't wander near the water. La Llorona might mistake you for her own. These warnings, instilled from a young age, keep children close to home. They plant a seed of fear that blossoms in the darkness, a constant reminder of the woman who cries for children who are not her own. Some dismiss the stories as mere folklore, but others, they claim to have seen her. A fleeting glimpse of a woman in white, her face obscured by a veil of sorrow. A group of teenagers, huddled around a campfire, sharing ghost stories, suddenly fall silent. They see her across the flames, a figure as pale as moonlight, her eyes burning with a grief that seems to consume her. They scatter, fear lending speed to their feet, the image seared into their minds. There's a story, told by travelers on lonely roads. A woman in white, thumbing a ride. They stop, their hearts filled with a strange mix of pity and unease. She gets in, her touch ice cold, her voice a whisper that seems to suck the warmth from the car. She gives directions, always towards the river, and then, just as quickly as she appeared, she's gone. Vanished, leaving behind only a chill in the air and the lingering scent of river water. La Llorona's story isn't confined to whispers and campfire tales. Her legend has transcended oral tradition, finding new life in the realms of literature and film. Artists, writers, and filmmakers have been captivated by her tragedy, drawing inspiration from her sorrow to craft chilling narratives that resonate with audiences worldwide. From haunting poems that capture the raw emotion of her grief, to terrifying films that bring her spectral presence to life, La Llorona's story has been told and retold, each adaptation adding a new layer to her complex and enduring legend. One of the most celebrated literary adaptations is José Martí's poem La Llorona. Martí, a renowned Cuban poet and revolutionary, saw in La Llorona's tale a reflection of the human condition, of the destructive power of grief, and the yearning for redemption. In film, La Llorona has been featured in numerous horror movies, each interpreting her legend through a different lens. Some films focus on her vengeful nature, portraying her as a terrifying specter who preys on the innocent. Others delve into the psychological torment behind her actions, exploring the depths of her despair and the guilt that binds her to the mortal realm. What makes La Llorona such a compelling figure in horror? It's not just the jump scares or the eerie sound of her cries, it's the deep-seated fears her story taps into, the loss of a child, the betrayal of a loved one, the consequences of our actions. La Llorona's tale forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves, about the darkness that resides within even the most ordinary hearts. It reminds us that grief, if left unchecked, can consume us, twisting love into something monstrous. La Llorona's legend continues to inspire and terrify. Her image, a woman in white forever searching for her lost children, has become an iconic symbol of Latin American folklore, instantly recognizable across generations and cultures. Her story, passed down through centuries, continues to evolve, adapting to the fears and anxieties of each new generation. And as long as there are rivers to cross and children to frighten, the legend of La Llorona, the weeping woman, will continue to echo in our hearts and minds. La Llorona, the weeping woman. Her tale, a tapestry woven from sorrow, fear, and the enduring power of a mother's love and rage, continues to haunt us. From the heart of Mexico, her story has rippled outward, crossing borders and languages, captivating and terrifying generations. She is a specter, a cautionary whisper, a reminder that some acts are so terrible, so steeped in despair, that they echo through eternity. The cries of La Llorona, they are not just for her lost children. They are a lament for all that is lost, all that is broken, all that can never be reclaimed. What is it about this legend that continues to grip our imaginations? Perhaps it is the universality of her tragedy. We have all loved and lost. We have all felt the sting of betrayal, the crushing weight of despair. La Llorona, in her sorrow, becomes a mirror reflecting our own deepest fears. Her story reminds us that the path of vengeance is paved with anguish, that the desire for retribution can consume us, transforming us into the very monsters we seek to vanquish. La Llorona is a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the price we pay for succumbing to the darkness within. Tonight, as you turn out the lights and the world around you fades into darkness, and draw the covers close, remember La Llorona. Her story is not just a tale of sorrow, but a haunting reminder of the depths of human emotion. Remember her pain, her loss, her endless search for redemption. She wanders the night, her cries echoing through the ages, a symbol of eternal grief. And as you listen to the wind whisper through the trees, ask yourself, what secrets does the night hold? Have you heard her cries in the night, the mournful wails that send shivers down your spine? Have you seen a flash of white near the river's edge? A fleeting glimpse of her ghostly figure forever searching? Have you felt the icy touch of despair on your skin? The cold reminder of her presence, lingering in the air? La Llorona's story lives on through your stories. Share them, keep the legend alive. For every retelling, every whispered word keeps her memory from fading. For in the telling we confront our fears, we face the unknown together, we find solace in shared experience, in the comfort of knowing we are not alone in our fears, and we remind ourselves that even in the darkest of nights the human spirit endures. It is through our stories that we find light, hope, and the strength to carry on.
The shadows are restless tonight, and so are we. If you're brave enough, hit that like button. Let us know what you think in the comments. And subscribe for more spine-tingling stories that lurk just around the corner.